Howdy, folks, and welcome to Moose Podcast 326. Happy New Year to each and every one of you across the globe. I wish you and yours only the best this year. Make it fulfill your dreams, your desires, and make it hard to have even a better year in 2024. So, hello and welcome to 2023. I had some interesting questions this last week. One of them, I got a lot during the year. Some of them I think, are very sincere. Some are very cynical. This last one, very much sincere. And they said, "Hey, Moose, would you actually be doing this podcast if you were not sponsored?" Uh, I know this is number 326, but if you go back a few years, first, you'll find that the podcast originally was not sponsored. Then it got dropped. The sponsor dropped because they ran out of money and they didn't pay their bill. That simple. And yes, the podcast keeps going, whether I have a sponsor or not. Why does it keep going? Some people might say because I can't shut up. Some people might say because I have too much free time. Could be maybe, but no. The reason the podcast keeps continue is one very sincere answer. I don't want you folks to reinvent the wheel for the mistakes that I have made in my many years behind the lens. It's that simple. The time is running on the slim side when it comes to our wild heritage and our critters, which is what I really devote all my breath to. And I need each and every one of you out there not only photographing them, but sharing their stories. So as long as that burns deep in me, then the podcast will keep going. So I hope that answers that question once and for all. Well, I need to thank my good friends from Bedford Cameras, bedfords.com, for sponsoring the Moose Podcast all of last year and going into this year. I can't thank them enough for their support and their faith and their trust. And I can't tell you folks enough and more often and more repeatedly and with more emphasis that these are the folks you want to trust with your equipment purchases and your equipment advice and your equipment needs. God, what they did over Christmas, the last, 45 days for us. I mean, I got more emails thanking me about Bedfords than I got questions. I'm not sure I'll take that, but that's just how amazing Bedfords are. So Bedford's Camera, thank you so much for sponsoring the Moose Podcast. Remember, you will get that 5% off and the Moose discount, MOOSE, and you will get the best service, advice, and gear and inventory than you can imagine. So, Bedfords.com. Thanks for sponsoring the Moose Podcast. I want to get right into this week's episode. I say that every time. It's like, what else am I going to do right now? But other than get right into the podcast. But anyway, I'll have to figure out, maybe I should make that a New Year resolution, figure out a better lead in. Anyway, a new year anew. Now, I had a number of number of ideas for today's podcast. One of them came from refinishing this 1880 antique that Sharon got Mom for Christmas. It's a beautiful piece. It just had been slobbered with yuck in somebody's idea. Anyway, and I was looking at it, and back in 1880, it was obvious, and most people don't know, but in a prior life, I actually restored antiques the way they were originally built for a living, but that's a whole nother lifetime ago. Anyway, I'm looking at this, and to them it was just scrap wood. Today, I'm looking at this tiger stripe and burl-eyed white oak, which is just a phenomenal piece of wood that today we give our eye tooth for. Back then, they just used the scraps to build this furniture, and it's like, wow, one man's ceiling, another man's floor, another man's junk, another man's treasure. So I said, yeah, I'll think about that for a topic. And then, I had a number of questions, and it brought back an old memory how I had a dear friend that, yeah, not a dear friend anymore. And we went shooting, and this is when I first got the 800 EDIF lens. So this is an old lens. This would have been 19, what, 84, 85. I got this 800 millimeter lens, f5.6. I mean, I've been an 800 millimeter fan and fanboy and owner forever. And he wrote his first book, and boy, he just blasted me point blank by name because he said I wrote a book that I talk about using my 800 like people could afford an 800 millimeter lens, and that boy that left a real sour taste. And nah, that is not how. I don't want to spend the new year or the year looking at things that way or from that point of view. So I decided, okay, I'm going to talk about, you could say, a new year anew. Some people might say New Year's resolutions. Some people might say goals. And well, hey, I have goals as it is anyway, as part of who I am in the business. But I wanted to talk a little bit things more specific. For example, um, you know, I decided I'm not going to buy any more gear this year. Ha ha ha! Yeah, well, that resolution is gone already. First minutes of the year, boop, that's gone. Ha! Not buying any more gear. Who's kidding who? Right now, I'm looking at the Z51.2. I think I'm gonna make that acquisition here shortly. I love that lens. I got it for MPS for a couple weeks, and boy, what a killer lens. So yeah, right off the bat, first New Year's resolution or New Year renew, and I'm already so uh, got nothing to lose, right? I figured if I started with something like that I knew I couldn't do, because I couldn't say something like I'm not going to drink any more bourbon or I'm going to lose weight. Those things that right? This one here, not buy any more new gear. Who's kidding who? Anyway, um, one thing I'm seriously considering is point blank less social media. Now, when I say that, I don't mean I'm going to post less or less frequency on my blog. I'm just saying that, and of course, WordPress naturally kicks it out to Instagram or to Twitter. It won't do Instagram or Facebook because Facebook has locked me out now since last February, and I can't find a single soul on the planet who seems I can talk to fix this damn thing. So I'm going up on a year of not being able to be on Facebook. So that leaves us Twitter, Instagram, and those will still happen as long as Word can kick it out. What I mean by less social is, well, point blank, not look at it so much for a couple reasons. One, I really get tired, and I'm sure it's just me, but I get tired of seeing other photographers' mugs on social. A picture of me doing this, picture of me doing that, picture of me trying out this, picture of me of something obvious like I tied my shoes. Oh, I should get patted on my back. I mean, I'm tired of that stuff. I want to see what people are photographing. I want to see their experiences. I want to explore the world, not see how what somebody ate for lunch. That's getting old. So one of the things that I think I'm gonna do this year anew is just simply less looking at that social. I bet I could find something to use my time for, maybe something on my list. Um, Next thing that I think I'm going to really work towards is shooting more videos and video. What I mean by that, I was really, and I apologize, delinquent in the number of videos that I put out about basic trivia that I think I know helped my photography and I think it might help yours. So I got to get better at getting those done. I'm bad at it, point blank. I regret that the time it takes to set everything up and shoot it and edit it. I build these superficial walls, which mean nothing, but it doesn't get done. At the same time, I think I want to shoot more video um, as a whole of the things that I'm seeing. And I'm doing that and making that decision as a New Year resolution. I'm afraid a little bit on the depressing side because I think a lot of things I'm seeing are disappearing. They might not be around for me to photograph as stills and videos. So that's one of the things I'm looking to do now. Um, with that said, one of the things that really has been bugging me, and it's another time thing. It's a mental wall that I know I've put up for no reason, not a good reason. Is I need to spend, and I'm not talking about just the act of doing it. I'm talking about one of my sincere New Year's resolutions, this new year anew that I want to do is at least, okay, one time a week, spend a solid 2 hours photographing my birds here at the ranch, well, at least once a week. And I take it for granted they're right there. I enjoy watching them. I literally have binoculars at every window. I do. So I don't have to walk around the house with them. I look at, and Sharon looks at the birds that much. But I sit there and enjoy them, but I am been really bad, if not disgraceful, at actually taking the lens and working the scenario. I mean, I've got the Z 400 with the 1.4, 560. I mean, it's just a spectacular lens. I and I'm not doing anything with it. And it's wrong. It's bad. And right now, for at least I think it's about the last 2 weeks, at least 10 days for sure, we have this big, gorgeous female goshawk here. I mean, she's spectacular. Literally, we've watched her out our office window, just 15 feet away, and I've got some shots, so I've broken the jinx, but I haven't got. I mean, Sharon and I both seen her come down and nail mourning doves right on the snow, point blank. And I'm just so wow, cool. And then I don't even bother to get the camera. So I got to get better at this. So one of the things I want to do this new year anew is to really just knuckle down and just turn off the phone, right? So I think doing less social is going to help this. Spend a minimum of 2 hours each week. That's 52 weeks of just working the birds I have right here in my own backyard. For so many reasons, I think that will make just huge difference. Huge difference. Hey, ha, did I tell you this funny one? One of the ideas is not to buy a new camera gear this year. Ha! Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Anyway, um, another thing, two things business wise that I gotta tell you, I was just horrid at in 2022, and this is gonna be a challenge for me. Uh, is to one write a lot more. 2022 was my least productive year in my 4 decades at getting writing done and articles published. And I know why, but it was my most miserable year. The reason why, real simple, is that, yeah, lazy, point blank, put it out there. Now, on the flip side, I spent a lot of time in the wood shop, which is where I find so much satisfaction and such a relief from the some of the BS that comes my way, which is, anyway, that I was out there instead of writing, but that's got to change. I can do both. I have enough time. I can do both. So I got to write a lot more. I was very, very happy the last days of the year that two of my goals for 2023, this new year anew, I actually started working on prior to the New Year's. So is that cheating? I wondered. I wondered when I was out there finishing Sharon's antique cabinet if that's actually cheating, starting the year prior on next year's goals. Huh. Let me know. I'm not sure. Anyway, even though it's only 24 hours. But I was very happy to get back to the point that I got an article sold and images submitted to a magazine, stock images, which is the next big part of my a new year, a new campaign for myself. Um, just as my writing and submitting articles, text, photo, text packages was was miserable last year. Just embarrassing. I think I had a total of seven. I think I remember 7 articles in 12 months. That's just for me. That's just horrible. But the last thing I want to do is I want to sell more stock or more stock images. Now, what does that require? That requires just balls out a whole lot of work, because you've got to in this business you have to understand the people that in the editorial marketplace, those photo buyers, they're incredibly busy people. They're so talented, so giving, but they are so busy, right? So I have to go find them. I have to remind them I'm here. And let's be honest, I was so miserable at this last year. I have to go out and remind some of these folks that, hey, I'm here. I exist. I have these photographs. And so that's really important. Now, one thing I wanted to talk to you folks about that kind of touches on a number of things from last year comes from Seth Godin's blog. I don't know if you read his blog. It's really, I think he writes every day for me personally. But there is one back from October that I've been waiting because I wanted to start the new year with this, and I'm gonna read it to you. Like most of his; they're very short. I wish I had that, his wordsmithness, if that's even a word. Probably not, because I made it up. Which I make up. Sharon has a T-shirt for me. If you didn't know, guys, it says point blank, I make shit up. And I don't wear it very often because it has the word shit. And like so many things in life, oh no, I said that word. Oh my god. Anyway, um, oh, I'm professional. Anyway, back to what he wrote back in October, and the subject of his blog post is simple. Compared to what? See, that's something I would say and get in trouble for. But anyway, compared to what? Satisfaction is often driven by the story we tell ourselves. How does this rank compared to what I expect or I expected? Compared to what I used to have, compared to the person sitting next to me? The richest person in the world used to sleep on the floor and eat moldy food, but still felt great because it was more than the person in the next cave. The good news is our perception of comparison is up to us is up to us. Um, you know, eh, when you make near New Year's resolution, I hope that the folks, all of you, are not making it in comparison to anybody else or what you think or perceive they have done or are going to do. I hope it's just based on what you, as a person, a photographer, an artist, a passionate human being, what you are all about and what you would like to be about as you take this journey through time. Compared to what? Boy, you know, when I sat there and thought about this, a new year anew, I said, I could go, as I mentioned, different ways, but the bottom line is if I want to improve myself, and I do, and if I want to improve my photography, which I really want to do, then the only comparison should be to myself. What I've done, what I know I can do, and how I can get there. This is going to be a great year, folks. 2023. Going to be a great year. I appreciate you being along for the ride. I'm here if I can help you along that path. And remember to make every click your story.